This conference will now be recorded.
Gentlemen, good. Y'all ready down there? I'd like to call the Board of Supervisors meeting to order. As always, let's start with the pledge and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. We do have a quorum. We do need to adopt an agenda. Jonathan's pointed out that he'd like to add number 11 to new business as water supply planning grant, and there's a resolution that goes with it, 2025-2. We'll talk about that when we get there. Anybody else have anything we need to add to the agenda? We do have a closed session, probably no action.
There may be one minor, which
Yeah.
we will always
Yeah,
reach
we'll
out and
see.
notify the press.
Anybody else have anything? What would y'all like to do?
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the agenda as amended.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Public comment. Public comment. How many people do we have today? Tracy's in attendance, so I mean, we're down to 0. That's a bummer. We're glad to have you, Tracy. We'll do public comment again at the end. Consent agenda, we've got minutes from 2/27/25, 3/05/25, 3/06/25, 3/11/25. Then we've got 2 supplemental appropriations. We've got number 21, which is for $107,705.22. And then we've got supplemental appropriation number 22, that's for $373,628. These are grants. There are matching funds that go with them as cited in the letter, but thought it would be worth noting. Jonathan, you have anything else on the consent agenda?
Just the one item, Mr. Chairman, you talked about, I believe it's supplemental appropriation number 22, but check me. But the bottom of the script, as the chairman stated, members of the board, there is a local match request to some of the grants they received. If you choose to make that local match, it would be a use of contingency funds. So as always, contingency funds definitely has to take a board vote, and then we put the total below. So if you approve that total Jennifer has at the bottom was what will be remaining in the contingency fund.
I liked that. Like 262, isn't it?
I think it's 340 something. Let me
No.
get to it.
No, it's 312 currently in contingency. And then if we act on the consent agenda, the remaining balance will be 266,367, which I think is just a good number for everybody to kind of keep in the back of their mind.
What she's communicating for you to the actual.
He's 312.
Yeah, will be what's remaining.
There you go.
And then, Mr. Chairman, after this, or you can do it now, and I appreciate Mr. Wright pointing out, just at some point recognize Mr. Yao is unavailable tonight, just for the record.
He is unavailable tonight. We hope to see him on Thursday.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you all. Consent agenda, what would y'all like to do here?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, no special appearances, but we do have a public hearing on the Economic Development Committee plan. Mr. Jewett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We discussed quite a bit of this at the last discussion session we had at our last regular meeting. We did make a few substantive changes, one of which was addressing your concern on workforce development. As one of our goals, we will inventory for this year, try to inventory all local programs and move from there. Minor changes, corrections, grammatical changes, probably we'll be doing that for eternity with this thing. And the committee, I want to thank the committee for all the work they did, all the staff support. Supervisor Buchanan, integral part as vice chair. And just want to say that this plan, if it is adopted and the committee is charged with those actionable items, we will have quite a bit of work to do. I mean, this is basically just the beginning of this program. And, you know, I got to thinking about it in all of the discussions that we've had over the years and even recently. But Madison County is at a place where it really needs to be proactive in economic development, as we all know. People don't like change, but change happens. And either we try to take control of that change and build a county, maintain a county that we all love and cherish, or we do little or nothing and change will control us. And probably with results that we will not be satisfied with. So I think this is a good first step. It's really a concerted, deliberative effort to make some of these things happen. We, as I said, Tracy has been working on the site development planning for many years, and we're going to enhance that and be more proactive about not just trying to inventory and make contacts with landowners, but possibly even solicit business. You know, we will continue in the actionable items to review possible tax incentive policies. We are working closely with Mr. Elliott and Mr. Coppage on the sewage treatment plan and trying to get control of that, because that is actually a critical element to development in the town of Madison in the 29 corridor. You know, as I mentioned before, one of our biggest treasures here is that 17,000 cars a day that transit Route 29 in Madison, and that's estimate subtracting for local folks, and all of the money that's in each one of those cars, and we need to start getting some more of that money. It's really could be multi-million-dollar increase in revenue for local businesses, but you have to have more restaurants. You have to have some type of attractions. As far as the town of Madison, I would envision that what we need to do there is to try to make the town of Madison more of a destination, like some of our other old small towns in Virginia, like Stanton comes to mind, and some other towns. And we do have to expand the tax base. I think this last assessment was a wake-up call for a lot of people. And we have to emphasize to citizens that will be concerned with this plan. Well, I don't want development. I want Madison to stay the way it is. Well, the only chance we have of doing that is to actually do some of this development. And we're talking about the development being focused on the 29 corridor, which has been designated ever since I can remember is where we want development. We just need a little bit better planning to get that accomplished. You know, we're not going to try to develop the beautiful rural areas of the county. That's not to say that we're opposed to venues and vineyards and all those good things that come about in those areas. But, you know, we're not going to turn Madison into Culpeper. And I'm not deriding Culpeper, but we do not want an exploding population and housing developments and all the congestion and all of the things that go along with that. And again, at the same time, we don't want to be at the other extreme, such as Rappahannock. And again, I'm not deriding Rappahannock, but quite frankly, only the wealthy can afford to live in Rappahannock. And we don't want that here. The second thrust of this program, aside from expanding the tax bases, is hopefully we can provide more employment opportunities and business opportunities for local Madison people to give them that fighting chance to compete with the outside money that's flowing into here. So that was the impetus behind it. And, you know, during the process, I learned a lot. And I think that it's what we need to do for the future. John, do you have anything to add to that?
Just to thank you, Jim, for everything you've done. I mean, it's amazing the amount of work you put in on this. We do need more hospitality here as far as hotels. That would really enhance our people staying here and coming to our town and seeing all the beauty we have here with Old Rag and all the different hikes. And then there's other ways to bring business in that doesn't affect our infrastructure as much. So we gotta think about those ways as well. So that's stuff that we need to concentrate on, and with the work that Tracy's doing and finding places that the businesses that can come in, that's gonna be so important. So that's the first step, right, is what we're gonna try to do. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
And then if there's any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
No, I like your starting comment is that there are going to be changes, and I think that is critical. Like the comp plan being a living document, this needs to be that same type of thing, because opportunities will present themselves, other things you'll weed through, and say, we certainly do not want that. You need to be kind of able to go both directions, and y'all taking this on is a big undertaking, and we'll see how it all goes. It's good. It is certainly your characterization of residents and taxes and how the county will exist. You might as well be proactive instead of just letting it continue to just kind of fall into our laps, and that's just what it is.
And also, one thing I want to mention, kind of following up what Judd said, as we have explored possible businesses, one of the recurring themes that we hear from folks who have preceded us in some of these industries, they have emphasized that we need to make sure that we stay ahead with regard to our local county policies, zoning policies, tax policies, so that we get the results that we want, and we don't have something that we bring in and it gets out of control, and then it's too late to do anything then. So we need to really, really, cross our T's and dot our I's when we're doing this plan as we progress through this.
Agreed. All right. To the public. Kevin, thank you for coming. You've increased us by 100%. All right. Any public comment on the economic development plan? How are we doing on there? Are we still consistent? We're up. We're doing good. Good job, Tracy. Anybody else? I do think we should go ahead and adopt this. I think it's a good plan. It certainly sets the stage. We all know Tracy has been working on, I don't know, every time she gets up and presents, it's just like, good Lord, everything under the sun. I mean, we appreciate it a bunch. This one, if anything we can do to aid in any way.
And I will say, give a shout out to Tracy. When I first came on the board, quite frankly, I questioned exactly what she was doing as director. And not in a derogatory manner, but what I have realized is that working with her and being on the board the last few years is that, she can't do this by herself. We just can't throw her out there and say, go. I mean, this requires a team effort, and I can understand. If I would have been in her position, I'd been very frustrated at times because she sees opportunities and we're not ready for them, or we're reluctant to pursue them, and therefore, I think that this is a good plan. If we adopt this in the motion, I would appreciate that we adopt the plan and also charge the Economic Development Committee with the actionable items in the respective timelines.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion if it works.
A second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Thank you, gentlemen. Please pass on to your other committee members how much we appreciate it. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Very good. Hannon, Meadows Lane.
Only update is no real update. There hasn't been really any progress.
I've not done anything either. So there you go.
I tried to help. I represent the county. I don't represent any of the private parties here. I tried to help with what I think would be an acceptable road maintenance agreement, but as far as I know, no other progress.
The last holdup at this, or the holdup that we are at presently, is Mr. Beto feels that he cannot sign it because it potentially could allow future subdivisions to utilize the easement that's in place for Bonnie already. And Bonnie has Bonnie and Frank Dixon both have, I think it's 17 acres or something, so they certainly can divide. But we're still working through these challenges on the easement, so it will certainly come back again, and we will spend more time working on it.
The board initially directed to advertise for a public hearing, but as you see, until these things get ironed out, if it moves towards where we get that ironed out, you'll put a public hearing. VDOT will have a resolution that has all the normal language as you've abandoned segments of roads in the past. Usually there are those that haven't been used for 40 or 50 years, but there's a process, but we will not advertise until this portion's ironed out.
Anybody have any comments on that one? All right, moving on. Ms. Turner, tell us about all these committees and boards in a brief way.
Alrighty. I will try to be brief. All right, so I have 3 notes for you. Jeff Early, his term on the Rappahannock-Rapidan Division of Court Services Board expires on June 28th, 2025. Our office received a letter from the VASAP office stating that he is willing and eligible to serve again if you wish. The CSA coordinator, Ms. Tiffany Woodward, reached out to me to let me know that they recently appointed someone to the CPMT, which is the Community Policy Management Team. They recently appointed Amy Sanford as their private provider for that. There's no action for you there. It's just more for awareness. We were also, while reviewing the Virginia Code, we came across some language and learned that the Industrial Development Authority, or the IDA, the members cannot be officers or employees of the locality. Due to this, 2 of our members who are on the Planning Commission are not eligible to serve on the IDA, and they've both been informed. So for our recommendations tonight, we will recommend considering advertising for the 2 IDA positions, and then also recommend considering reappointing Jeff Early to the Rappahannock-Rapidan Division of Court Services Board.
All right, y'all want to advertise for IDA, 2 positions? We should reach out, and if we know anybody that would be qualified for this, we should be going at it after them. They have a pretty good board right now, and it would be helpful to maybe speed this thing along. Apparently, they're only meeting twice a year, so it's a large commitment.
The only thing there, Mr. Chairman, if I may, when you're, and please do, if you know of anyone, just keep in mind, because where we found ourselves currently via state code, the controlling factor is the IDA. So, you know, obviously, if they're not on the IDA board, they would be eligible, but they can't serve IDA in others, like Planning Commission or BZA or BOE. So definitely send anybody you would recommend Kim's way. Application is required, but that can be done easily online or in person. We'll work with the individual to get it submitted.
And I'll throw out, we've reached out to 1 person already who's expressed interest in serving on a committee, and I'm just waiting for an application back from that individual.
Good.
I believe it was
All right, so
Mr.
we're-
Jones? Yeah, David Jones.
Yeah, good. We're advertising 2 for IDA, CPMT, they've already appointed somebody. What about reappointment of Jeff Early to the Rappahannock-Rapidan Division of Court Services,
Yes.
District 9? Need a motion.
On both?
Just the Rappahannock-Rapidan Division of Court Service, District 9, appointing Jeff Early.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Tell Jeff, thank you, and we appreciate it. All right, Jonathan, I'm gonna steal this one from you. Permit and tipping fees for, I'm grouping them together, Madison Day and Madison County Fair. I think the easiest way to say this is we waive all county fees for either of these 2 events. Does that work? What do y'all wanna do on this? Probably need to do a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve tipping fees for Madison Day and Madison County Fair.
Just tipping or all county
Permit,
fees?
all county fees.
Second.
So we understand the motion is waiver of all fees.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
All right, motion's made and seconded, with clarification. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we have a fireworks permit from Chase Berry. Mr. Weekly?
Yes, Mr. Barry is having a wedding, so kudos to them. So they wish to have a small fireworks display. So they have filled out the application to do so. And they actually have a licensed, what do they call it, pyrotechnician doing the event. So county staff believes everything's in order. However, that is subject to board approval.
What would y'all like to do?
And I move that we grant the firework permit to Mr. Barry.
A second.
All right, motion made, seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, Mr. Weekly, tell us about the Fishback Road speed study.
Yes, so recently we had an owner of a property on Fishback who has requested VDOT to reduce the speed to 35 mile per hour. The official request always has to come from the county to VDOT. So I informed the property owner I would make this request to the board, and if they so choose to direct me to contact VDOT, I will do that immediately. And just a little information on current speed limits. When you turn off Route 29 onto Fishback Road, there are no posted speed limit signs until the end of that road. So it's assumed 55 mile per hour until you get up near the Garrisons. I think they got a business shop there on the left. Then it turns to 35 mile an hour speed zone all the way till you get to the stop sign, intersection of Oak Park Road. So that's the current posted or unposted speed limits on that road.
Anybody have grievance with the, and we figured out that Fishback is 1.3 miles. So this should be a big thing for everybody. Everybody want to go request one from VDOT? Seems pretty inconsequential. Do we need a motion? We need a motion, don't we? Yeah.
Motion just correct, okay. This is at Fishback? I'm not aware of anything on Fishback. No, I'm not aware. I know on Oak Park they had some speed bumps during paving, but Fishback?
No, it's got the tripwires going across, like a traffic count.
Maybe they got ahead of us then. I'm not familiar with it.
It shows what kind of authority we have.
Was this on your way in today, sir? This morning I didn't see it, but was this on your way today? Okay, so maybe they just
How
set
fast
something
were you
up.
going? Yeah, that's very good, Jim. Avoid that. Thing's still working.
So county
We
attorney.
do need a motion
Yeah.
for Fishback Road.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the county administrator to go ahead and ask VDOT to do a speed test.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, I'm stealing this one too. Annette Dotson, our animal shelter, administrator, wants to do some painting at the animal shelter. She wants to do it to, United Painting for 9830. Mr. Weekly, what else have I missed? Where is she painting?
In the interior of the animal shelter.
There you go.
So it's what's on this. This is Toppin's Fund, so as you know, a Toppin Committee meeting has to be held, which we held one. They approved or recommend this request to the board. So the board has to officially vote since the Toppin Committee has made the recommendation.
I think we came up with the other day, is there like 13K left?
There's around $20,000 currently before approval of this,
There you go. There you go. It was less than that.
or assuming you approve, my fault.
What's the color gonna be? That's what I wanna know.
It won't be that yellow scheme. I think they're looking at a type of gray. Similar, have you been inside the sheriff's office? This company painted that, but I think it's a similar color. It's a type of gray. I can't tell you the exact type of gray, but gray.
Didn't notice the last time you were in the sheriff's department? Different, you went in the other door.
Currently, it's like not quite a canary yellow with some brown accent. It's,
Yellow and red are inciting colors. You're supposed to paint like really
Pink.
light, light blue.
Yeah.
That soothes people down. I don't think you'd want to drag people up to the sheriff's office
Yeah.
or the animal shelter.
I agree.
She is gonna reach out to the school about trying to find some kids to do a mural, which seems like, yeah, why not? There you go. That's a good idea. What do y'all think about using $9,830 to United Rental from the topping fund?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Mr. Weekly, tell us about the water supply planning grant, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Sorry for this last-minute addition, but I'll do a quick explanation of it. So you may recall back when the water, or the regional water supply plan regulation, DEQ revised this, which therefore, the new rule gives us an additional 5 years. So you all appointed me and Brian as alternate for the planning efforts of the upcoming water supply plan, or the regional water supply plan. All members of what is referred to as Planning District 9 or Rappahannock Regional Commission, whichever you know it as, we feel like the commission is best suited to, one, apply for the DEQ planning grant. It's not a lot of money, but it'll help them with some initial kind of expectations and things. I think it's a little over $8,000. But they're going to apply, the grant application is due March 31st. The weird part is they can apply for the grant in March. The resolution technically is not due till June. You'd think it would be flip-flop, but we all felt the same way, but I wanted to go ahead and bring the resolution to you now versus June. Rappahannock Regional Commission has been assisting us on the water supply plan for years. And it just makes sense that the regional effort that's required this time, that they would be the lead on that as well. So it will require some staff time. What most localities are anticipating is that this will be, localities' plans that are submitted, and they just morph into a regional, here's what these localities are doing within the region. It doesn't tie us to, like, we're planning water reservoirs with Culpeper or Orange. It just shows what our efforts will be in Madison. So the resolution is basically supporting Triple RC to be lead.
Other questions, comments, thoughts, motion?
Yeah. Mr. Weekly, out of curiosity, how does RSA fit into this puzzle?
So RSA are there, so each locality plus any, they're not a planning unit, they're a part of the planning unit, any authority could be a part of it. So Fauquier County Water and Sanitation Authority, they are, even though you have Fauquier County as a rep, the actual service authority was there as well. So they will be given input, whether it's directly to Madison or to the regional commission, because as you're alluding to, they have the, they're the primary utility owner here in Madison. You have a little pocket of, like, Aqua Virginia has some community waterworks, but they are not the largest scale utility owner in the county, but they will be a part of it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Other questions, thoughts, and motion?
Mr. Chairman, a motion to approve resolution number 2025-2, a resolution regarding local and regional water supply planning and application for the FY 2025 water supply planning grant.
I'll second that.
Motion's made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Anybody have anything we need to discuss?
I guess I would like to throw one in there. I should have asked Hannah earlier. I got my invitation today, so I'm assuming maybe the Board of Supervisors did as well. I don't know if, Mr. Chairman, if you have one up there in
No,
front of
I
you.
got one,
The Parks and Rec Authority are wanting to hold a groundbreaking ceremony for the Outdoor Recreation Center on April the 7th. I guess before we go further, I would ask the attorney, do we need to advertise if more than 2 are going to be there for this shovel in the ground event?
Yeah, advertise it.
Okay.
Be done.
So we'll do that, but wanted to just throw that on there to make you aware of it, but you should have invitations up here before you.
See any reason not to?
All right, we'll advertise.
Do we have to call it a special meeting?
No, I don't figure.
If, my answer was gonna be if it's an invitation to a ceremony and there's not gonna be any, I'll say, county business conducted other than the reason that you're there, then I think you're fine, but it's probably better course of action to advertise it.
Let's advertise. The only thing that I don't.
What's the date on this? I'm sorry.
The
April 7th.
April 7th at 11 a.m. The only one that makes me hesitant, do we have to come to order and have a meeting with?
That's the
them
only
to
thing, if you
decide?
do it that way, I would say yes, because like when you went to JMU, if you
Yeah.
treat it as like you show up at your,
Yeah, but
some of these other
certainly,
events, you're not discussing
if all of us
business.
show up, which I encourage everybody to show up, it's a good thing. We got a bunch of money tied up into it. We probably should go down the path and just do it the right way and move on with it.
Or ride separately, don't talk to each other.
Yeah, that's probably not the best. Let's set it up like let's set it up like it's a meeting. We can come to order, we can adjourn, and then we'll take care of it, and then there's no question. Take 2 minutes.
You gonna be there?
There you go. Does that work for everybody? All right. Information and correspondence. Hesitant to look down there. You have
No, I mean, unless you want me to throw out the April 8th public hearings that are upcoming. You have your
Yeah.
tax rate, which is essentially the public hearing for your consideration and/or passage of equalizing the rate. You will only be hearing the tax rate for real estate. On April 22nd, what we are gauging is that would be a different taxed rate hearing because it would have all your tax rates, whether it be real estate, personal property, all of those would be that day, as well as your administrative fees, whether they're dog permits, building permits. That's when you also hear for your fee schedule for FY '25. And then April 8th, also you have your public hearing on the consideration of consolidating the Graves Mill and Wolftown election precincts. So just upcoming for the 8th.
Good. Anybody have any questions on those? Public comment. Public comment. Yes, ma'am.
Just like we found out through DHCD that the town can apply separately for property. I mean, there's no tax. I also found out for another property, just outside the county limit, the county or the town can apply for grant. And I've also found that same token that would actually be credit to my husband for that.
Excellent.
We always counted him as an
Yeah,
employee,
we do.
unpaid,
It's a
but he's our
2-for-1
extended
deal.
family.
Good. Any other public comment? All right, we do have closed session. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board convene in closed session pursuant to Virginia Code Sections 2.2-3711A1 for personnel and 2.2-3711A7 for consultation with legal counsel and briefings by staff members for consultants pertaining to actual or probable litigation.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right.